We've been telling you since day one, episode negative 150. We've been telling you. Howdy Meowers, welcome back to the BlushCat podcast. My name is Rouehdlevestezhaya, Mourkstaksuhmiere the third, and today we are having a discussion.
Go on.
We're having a discussion about disbanded and inactive K-pop groups that, Devin, take it away.
Are just so devastating. Just can't the despair. Why did they have to leave us so soon?
Sure. That's the sentiment.
I'm still caught up on your name though. Do you have a nickname?
No.
Okay. If anybody is thinking, like, if anybody else has that name and you think that I was laughing at your name, please understand that I was more so laughing at the delivery, at the ability with which the name was stated so straightforwardly. Just I would say the name, but like I don't remember it.
Rouehdlevestezhaya.
Okay.
Mourkstaksuhmiere the third.
It felt like 5 minutes longer the first time, but okay.
I don't know what's difficult about that.
Incredible. Okay, so yeah, so you're gonna have to buckle up today. Get your tissues. It's gonna be a sad one. We've spent a lot of time talking about groups that have comebacks all the time. We do that. But then there's these other groups that, don't you ever just wish, couldn't we just talk about them one more time?
Exactly.
Couldn't they have another comeback? And, if you guys make this episode the most popular episode ever, then maybe these groups will come back. You never know.
Honestly, you never know.
Some of them, like we said, it's disbanded/inactive. So some of them, they could come back. It's
right.
Just inactive for like, how long has it been?
Yeah.
And so we've also talked about some of these groups before, and we'll get to that. Like, we'll cover that if we have. But that just goes to show how good they are and how devastating it is that we haven't been able to talk about them for another comeback and whatnot, because it's like, come on now. They're that good.
Yeah. And so I honestly had a very long list, but there's no chance we're getting around to talking about all of the ones on my list today. So that only means that we could do this episode again in the future, talking about more disbanded or inactive groups that we love the music of, okay? And, it's unfortunate that they disbanded. It's unfortunate that they've been inactive for literally so long without having a comeback, or in some cases, there's literally been no word from the group at all whatsoever. And you're kind of like, hey, what happened to this group? Like, are they even still around?
Yeah.
So I think a good place to start is DKZ.
Okay. Pretty fresh. This one is pretty fresh. And they did have a comeback pretty close to then when they disbanded, which I feel like is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like, in terms of K-pop groups and disbandment history, their last comeback wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. What else is absolutely crazy about this group that I didn't realize is that their music video views are disgustingly low.
They are.
Like, it's so crazy.
How few people have seen Crazy Night.
Yeah, it's not even a million.
Yeah.
It's literally not even. They have like 3 music videos that have over 1 million. That's it. Like, their only quote unquote successful music video is like with 13 million. Like, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it.
So DKZ, though, they're a group that we've talked about on the BlushCat channel plenty of times. You should have stanned DKZ. We were telling you to. Episode 8 of the BlushCat podcast, we were talking about how iconic DKZ is, and we were talking about our origin stories, how and why we came to know DKZ and why we started standing. And this goes back to donkeys, okay? They used to go by donkeys, and so we knew them then. We knew them from Blockbuster, okay?
Yeah. Like,
we should have got on board.
Yeah, because we knew them already at that point. And, like, you guys, like, that was over 100 episodes ago. Like, you should have also known them by now. It's great. Okay, yeah, keep going.
And so they officially debuted in 2019, and they officially disbanded just at the end of May 2026. But in 2022, they had what I call the TOO, TO1 situation happening, and they had 2 members leave the group, and then 3 members joined the group. And then in 2023, another member left. So they had a lot of lineup changes, and as you know, they had a change to the name of the group as well.
Yeah, so...
And actually, I'm sorry, I do apologize. I don't think that, like, you know, Crayon Head, as we called Munich, he didn't officially leave until 2023, maybe. I don't really remember, but he was just on hiatus for, like, all of 2022 from when they announced the new members.
Yeah, and so we had some nicknames for some of the members. We also had, you know, affectionately called the original group of members Old Batch. And then when it had the new members included, that was New Batch.
Yes. If Crayon Head sounds like an insult, you're completely mistaken. That is affectionate as well.
Yeah, it was literally like the hair accessory that he had. We are not talking about his actual head.
Right.
It was like he had crayons on his head, is what it looked like. Okay, please. So, yeah, basically all that is to say that even throughout the name changes, the lineup changes and everything, this group was so incredibly resilient and flexible because it was never bad. Like, it wasn't like, oh, thank God they did this change, or oh, when they did this change, it all fell apart, or, you know, like, it kept the new people fully assimilated and incorporated themselves in and, like, picked up, filled in the holes, but also, like, had their own identities. Like, the whole thing was just, nothing got ruined, you know?
Yeah.
Even though things changed, it was still like you could stay supporting throughout. It was still so good. Yeah. You know? And I'm not saying like, oh, like, you know, it was fine once the other people left. I'm just saying like both options, or like all options, like, were consistently good throughout the whole time.
I agree. And
that doesn't usually happen.
You're right. It doesn't usually happen. A lot of the times when there's a lineup change, it can completely just destroy the group. I mean, it can just really shake things up too much. And I'm kind of just like, I mean, it's not even the same group at this point. Why would I be interested? But they didn't change their sound. They didn't change their content. Like, their overall dynamics weren't completely different. It was still very DKZ.
Yeah.
So we've talked about DKZ content and songs plenty of times before, but we're going to take this opportunity to maybe recommend some more for every group. Like, mostly I'm focusing on the music today, but if you want to shout out any content or anything like that, feel free to do that, you know. So what do you have?
Just as a blanket statement, this, I feel like, because I tried to sort of pinpoint a like vibe of each group and like why they're kind of so great. And DKZ, you know, we know they have so much aura, but they're also so positive feeling. And they had a dog, like a group dog, and the group dog was like taking place of their group mascot that they had that was a ghost character. And all that is just really unique and cool. And so I wanted to say that to start. I know we've talked about it in the DKZ episode, but in case you guys missed that one.
That's definitely a good thing to bring up. Like, yeah, go ahead, talk about them in general. I like that.
But besides that, I guess specifically, let me list off some absolute stars of music here. I had a hard time not just listing all of their music, but like I said, just to list a few. Ahung, Crazy Night, Universe, Lupin, Fever, and Appetite are ones that I just couldn't go without mentioning. And amidst those, I feel like we need to mention the fact that like we have to mention the prop usage.
Yes.
Like, some people might be thinking, why am I bringing up Lupin? Why am I bringing up Fever? Which you haven't been here if you're wondering why I'm bringing up Fever. But Lupin, they did the magic cane props, and Fever, never forget the Heelys. Never forget. But also just in general. Fever, just in general. You can take the Heelys away and it's still wild.
Yeah, I mean, Fever was also doing the shoulder move before ITZY even was.
True.
I mean, DKZ have been trendsetters since day one. Not to knock ITZY at all.
Oh my
Please,
God, no.
You clearly aren't a meower. Like, if you don't hear us talk about Fever and if you don't hear us talk about ITZY, but like, I'm just putting it out there that technically the DKZ Fever choreography is doing a rapid speed shoulder shake. And Absolutely. It happened before Wannabe.
Very rapid. So yeah, I guess if I think about it, DKZ kind of just like, they're such, like, they have such their own personality that, like, they weren't just another group, you know? Like, there are so many groups that get to be more than what, like, DKZ was so small and unknown. And, like, for what reason? Because there are so many groups that get more than that are so close to another group.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And I think that the company, you know, everybody always is ready to tear the companies down. And sure, they did do plenty, like, wrong or that they could have done better. But I do think that they were doing a lot of stuff right that other companies weren't doing.
Yeah, it did seem that way.
So, I mean, I really think that if people were just nice enough to care about DKZ, they could have kept going.
Yeah. And I feel like I bring this up every time DKZ is brought up. Didn't somebody say that, like, the DKZ members were, like, the nicest people they'd ever met or something like that? Like, someone in an industry or something?
Somebody in one of the musicals that they were in, that Juwon, Jonghyun was in, said that he was, like, the nicest person ever or something like that.
Yeah, so, like, they were probably nice people, too.
Yes, but I would like to obviously double acknowledge the songs that you already mentioned, but I'll also shout out some that I like. And for all the groups that we're talking about today, I just have, like, several songs listed so that everybody can go and stream them, because they're still out there. They still exist as songs. Even if the groups have completely disbanded, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy the masterpieces they left behind.
Good point.
Thank you. So, Cupid, obviously. Dreaming You is a good one. We're Together. Our Tomorrow. Best Friends. 2022 Forever. Why not? And I'd also like to shout out Day Moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as you can see and hear here, maybe, unless you're clueless, which I guess you probably are, we've got a nice spread of title tracks and B-sides, but also throughout their entire career. Like, we have the earliest to the latest album mentioned. Mm-hmm. So that's another good sign. It's like they didn't just have one good album. Like, their songs were great throughout.
Yeah. Yeah, they really were. So, shout out to DKZ.
Man, I love DKZ so much.
I know. But
like,
all the members are still under the company, so you never know what could happen.
And I feel like we undersold their content. Like, let me give one more shout out to the fact that the content that they made was literally so good. The Office content,
I mean,
so good.
Yeah, and like, yes, we've just talked about their content so many times in other episodes, so we're not spending that much time on it really today. But like, it wasn't even that the content was like organized so wonderfully, because a lot of the times we were like, it could have been longer. Like, it's so fast paced and they cut so much stuff out. But like, the members themselves were so funny and they just knew how to make good content.
Yes, like, they were good at content, not that what was released was like the highest tier of like
most revolutionary, groundbreaking content.
Yeah, it's just that they were naturals. Like, they were such naturals. So yeah.
Moving right along, we are going to talk about Pentagon, because everybody, Pentagon as of yet has not disbanded. So this is your chance to stan Pentagon, please and thank you. We've been telling you since day one, episode -150. We've been telling you to stan Pentagon, and it really seems like not everybody is on the same page yet.
If you guys, I don't know if you know about this little feature that exists on YouTube now called hide end screens. Have you ever tried hiding those end screens at the end of one of our episodes? Might notice something there.
Or maybe you haven't ever listened on YouTube and you just always see the end screens if you're on another platform, and then you'll know what you should be doing.
You've been saying it.
I was gonna just say that Pentagon debuted in 2016, but their last comeback was in 2022. Like, their last regular Korean official comeback.
Okay, and that's perfect, because what I was gonna say was that Pentagon is probably one of the groups, if not the group, that is the most veteran, long-standing, established group that we could be talking about, with a huge, massive discography and members with many, many other accomplishments in the music industry in terms of producing, writing, performing, other things. Yet they have gotten like nothing.
Yeah. It's really seriously like, this is the reason we're doing this episode. The spirit of this episode is Pentagon. Just think of it that way, okay? So, like, and you know, you might be thinking, if you guys love Pentagon so much, you never talk about them. I subscribe to the BlushCat channel specifically because I wanted to hear people finally talking about Pentagon. And it's like, okay, I totally hear you there. I totally hear you. We did do 2 episodes where we reviewed every Pentagon music video, and we always try to cover, like, you know, members' activities when they're substantial enough that we feel like we have something to cover. But I mean, it's just, they haven't really been that active. So, I mean, we could talk about old stuff, sure, like, that's fine, but you know, we're doing it now, so everybody, this is your chance. And it's kind of still this weird gray area as far as I'm aware. I don't really know exactly what's going on with them as a group or the members. I don't even know what number we're at right now for how many members are officially considered being part of the group. But we're kind of just going to talk about them, like, in terms of their history, like everybody.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So I want to just start right away with the songs. So,
Okay.
like I have a lot listed here, but actually I have 2 EPs that I wanted to shout out as a whole. The Weath EP, because Daisy, Beautiful Goodbye, Nostalgia, You Like, and Paradise. Is there anything wrong with any of those songs?
No.
Exactly. It's a perfect EP. And I actually, there is the Jinho song that is CD only. I'm going to be honest, I still have never heard that song.
Whoa,
because
crazy.
I don't have the CD. So,
I'm not saying like,
yeah.
oh, I've heard it. It's crazy that you haven't. I haven't heard it either.
But I'm sure that's a great song as well. So, flawless EP there. And also the Love or Take EP. Maybe it's not necessarily my favorite in terms of every single song on it, but I do love Do or Not, the title track, 10 Seconds, and that's like the name of the song, and Hui's solo, Boy in Time. Those are all really, really good, but the concept of this album in general was so fun with the whole like anime, manhwa sort of theme, or like, you know, manga. Like it was a great time.
True. I love that one too. Like I love Do or Not, and I always kind of like it's not that I forget about it, but it's like I forget how much I love it, and then I hear it and I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah. But other classics.
It really is. Sorry.
It's so good. Other classics, though, that I'm always going to bring up when I get the chance to talk about Pentagon music. Here we go. Naughty Boy. I love it. It's so good. Timeless classic. And obviously, Shine. We've got to mention Shine. I don't care if you're a Shine hater. You shouldn't be, because it is good. Like This. I can't help but enjoy Like This. Till. Excellent ballad. And I'd also shout out It's Over, because that's really nice. Dear Friend is a Japanese one. Seasons is another Japanese one. And those are all more on the ballad side of things. Cosmo, they're like, you know, really excellent, amazing Japanese title, is really good as well. Lukewarm, I'm always bringing up. Fantagistic is great. Violet, obviously, the music video, we all know I love that. Both of the rounds, round 1 and round 2. I'm going to also shout out Worship You and Alien.
Yes.
Yeah. Because honestly, I feel like Alien, it's been like just completely, you know, it completely faded away into obscurity. It's like one of those songs that I'm wondering if anybody even remembers that Pentagon has. But it's so much fun.
I've always loved Alien.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. And then the last one I'll shout out is Hey Hey Hey, which is another Japanese song. Because honestly, I mean, like, they have like a fair-sized Japanese discography, but is anybody ever talking about Pentagon's Japanese songs? No.
Okay. So yeah, you mentioned so many good ones, but that's because like all their music is so good.
Yeah.
So let me also say,
like, I didn't even mention their OSTs. Those are good too.
As we have already said, we did 2 episodes on all of Pentagon's music videos, but we have also done a tier list on our favorite music videos. And DKZ music videos, like some of the songs that I glossed over because I was like, we've already literally discussed these songs and music videos so much. Those would be in that. And then Pentagon music videos would be in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like probably most of the groups that we're talking about today will have some music videos that were featured in our favorite music videos. That's how great these groups are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to hear us more talk about like some of the, you know, great songs and music videos, you could find it there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of the ones you mentioned, I would say as well. Daisy, 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 Daisy. Daisy is the number 1 song that I can think of that I would play for absolutely anyone to listen to if they're like, oh, like what would be a song that you think I'd like? Like I don't listen to K-pop. Like Daisy is, I think, the best song for like absolutely anyone to just be able to acknowledge is an incredible song.
It is absolutely incredible. It's just bottling up the best of Pentagon. It's so emotional, and it's taking all of that spirit of Pentagon that I talked about, and it's just putting it out there into this wonderful piece of art.
Yes. So absolutely, like, take that as, you know, literal truth. Don't underestimate our words there. Dr. Bebe, I gotta mention Die For You, because I love that one. When Jinho says that he would die for you at that one part of the song, I'm like, I believe him. Like, that's how much emotion and conviction he is conveying.
I don't think you would bring it up, but maybe you would, so I'll wait. But you just reminded me of another song I absolutely have to shout out.
Okay.
So go ahead and finish.
I didn't actually list that many because I thought I would get carried away. Do or Not, I also wanted to list. And I guess that's kind of it that I had for specifics. Naughty Boy, though, is so iconic in its like ability to be completely separate from anything else. I feel like who has ever done a Naughty Boy? No one. Like, it's its own thing, so much so to me. I don't know why. And then I have a little more I could say, but it's not song specific. So what song were you gonna bring up?
I just wanted to say the game is, I mean, quite literally, it's game changing. Like, it's so iconic, and just Jinho's intro is what made me think of it again.
Okay. Yeah, those two that you mentioned at the end, Alien and Hey Hey Hey, are two that I love so much, but I was like, I don't know, are they kind of too like irrelevant to mention? But like now that you mentioned them,
that's what we're here
I'm like,
to
okay,
do.
yeah.
Mention the irrelevant ones.
So I love those ones as well, but I love all of them. Oh my god, they're so good. So otherwise, I just want to kind of say, because we've kind of already talked about how iconic and talented Pentagon are a million times over, but I love how they were always so invested in everything that they did, like full investment. They could always stand on their own with everything, you know? Like, it never really felt like it was like, oh, this is the concept that the company has given them for their next comeback, and like they're really pulling it up. It was like, it was just
that's true.
Pentagon.
They fully embodied everything. Well, I mean, it's because they were so involved in the music. Like,
it just felt like it was like Pentagon that you were getting.
Yeah.
You know?
I absolutely agree with that.
And I think a really like good way to be able to tell just how talented they were and just how much they could stand on their own is, you know, actually through Road to Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, if you were to see their Road to Kingdom performances, you can see how everything is like so Pentagon, so stand out, and it's not like, oh, you know, could they, you know, they, because you had to like cover other songs and stuff, and it's like, it didn't really feel like, you know, can they do it? Can they cover this song? It was like, wow, they took hold of that and they like just like wrenched it into like their own thing perfectly.
Yeah. Like, man, this is what you were saying. You were like, it's gonna make people sad, and it's making me like why couldn't people recognize these groups?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean like, it's like I want to talk about them so passionately, and like it's such positive things, but it is so bittersweet because it's like, you know, they haven't had something since 2022. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And I mean, like, they had, you know, the Japanese releases since that point, but
true.
And obviously, like you were saying, the members are thankfully, you know, very active, but just Pentagon as a K-pop group hasn't been active.
Yeah, and I just think it's so criminal how like we had to go through every single end of year Guile Festival award show thing, just like never getting to see Pentagon doing something there, when you know it would have been like standout, incredible, like, you know, big production, like AT's Eye, Boy Next Door, like it would have been on that level.
Like there was a handful of appearances that they made at those types of programs, and then there was the one year that Kino got to go to do, you know, it was a very iconic collapse stage that he was a part of, but like it wasn't even all of Pentagon that got to go to one of the Gaios. And then when they got to go to the, what was it the Asia Artist Awards, or was it something else?
I can't remember.
The one that they made the appearance at, and then literally like right after that happened, or like right around the time of that happening, we find out Hui's going on Boys Planet. And then they did, like, I'll give them the credit of they did have that group performance earlier this year at one of the award shows, but it's like, okay, so what now though? Like, thank you for doing that, but what now?
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, Pentagon music is excellent. They're always doing their best in everything. They're always making everything their own. Their content was a fun, good time. We got to shout out Heyo TV because that was truly one of the classics that got me to the point of standing Pentagon. And just like, you know, their choreography as well, not just their songs, but their choreography was so distinctly Pentagon.
True.
It has its like own vibe, and it definitely stands out in choreography genre from other K-pop groups.
Yeah.
So you should have stand Pentagon. You still can. Everybody stand Pentagon.
Last thing I'll throw in there is I just remembered, I also, and maybe you did as well, I can't remember, I also mentioned some of the Pentagon members, or at least one of them, in the favorite vocalists episode, because the vocal tones in that group as well, top notch.
Yes. Well, now we're going to talk about BLITZERS. Another group that we have definitely talked about a lot on the BlushCat podcast before. And no, BLITZERS has not yet officially disbanded. However, their last official Korean comeback was in 2024 with Superpower. So you should be standing. We did have an entire episode 52, called Why You Should Stan BLITZERS. We were telling you why you should stan BLITZERS.
And word on the street is that they're saving up, working hard to have another comeback. So, you know, once again, you haven't lost your chance. And that's why we felt we needed to make sure we talked about them today, because there is still time.
Yes. And the members have had, they did like a unit release, and they have had some solo music. But as BLITZERS, it has been a few years now.
Yeah, like they actually haven't had anything new as a group since we did the episode, right? Like,
yeah, I don't think so. So obviously the takeoff point for us and BLITZERS was Macarena. Now actually, like, it was kind of Macarena for me, but also that one OST that they had, which I found out about because Bane from Just B had an OST for the same drama, and so I saw that there was also a group called BLITZERS, and so Macarena was kind of like, I was getting into it coincidentally around the same time as that OST came out, and the OST that I'm talking about is You and Me Now, and that's actually literally one of my favorite BLITZERS songs, and it's not even listed alongside their other music in their discography, at least not on YouTube Music. And so I'm like, people probably don't even know about the existence of that song, but I love it. It's so good.
Whoa, I might not have ever heard it, because I only listened to, like, when we did the episode, I listened to all their music that was on their YouTube releases page. Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But Macarena, if you're thinking maybe in recent times, you've maybe heard a K-pop song that is referencing Macarena. Let me point you to the original reference of Macarena K-pop song, Macarena by BLITZERS, that is literally to this day still so incredibly good.
Yeah, it honestly is like this is K-pop. This is what K-pop is all about. It's what BLITZERS is doing in Macarena.
Today, I don't know why I was saying today. Here, right now, with BLITZERS is what I want to call an undeniable group. Because for me, this group, it's not even like I delved fully into like seeing so much of what they've put out there. I didn't need to. You only need a little taste to be like, yeah, they've got it. Like, they're so talented. They're doing it right. Their content is hilarious and iconic and different. And they just had it, you know, the energy and the spirit. It was just there, undeniably.
All very true. That's a good way to put it. I think that it is very clear that they could be such a good popular K-pop group. But their only problem was like, they're not from a big company. So they were struggling to get people to actually pay attention and give them credit.
Which is crazy because, like I said, it's undeniable. Just give them one glance and then you'll be there.
Yeah. And like you were saying, their content, like not just the songs, but the content was so good. For a good portion of time, right when I was starting to stan, they were having content frequently, regular YouTube uploads, and it was all good. They were having little like vacation series, they had music show behinds, they had just all of the regular stuff that a K-pop group would have that is, you know, keeping an audience. But then the problem for me started when they stopped making content regularly. I'm like, where's BLITZERS? How am I going to keep standing BLITZERS if they have no new music and no new content?
Ugh. And I loved that their content was so like it didn't feel produced, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you love the more that a group feels like they're in charge of what they're doing, and like, I'm not saying that they were in charge, but like, versus when you feel like the content is like, okay, the producers are giving us this, you know, task, this money packet, this whatever, and we're going on this thing. BLITZERS, it was wild, it was free, is the feeling.
Yes, that it's interesting because that is the feeling, but I think they had the right balance with their content, because I do like, it was produced, like it was like, it wasn't extremely overly structured and like, you know, supervised, I guess maybe would be the feeling that it definitely lacked, which a lot of kind of more, you know, boring K-pop content can feel too supervised and like leaning towards scripted. But the BLITZERS content was, it seemed quality enough, like they were doing actual real things, and it seemed like, you know, there was at least a mini team involved in planning to some extent something for them to do, so it wasn't just like, you know, setting up a little camera and being like, we're making a quick 5-minute video. Like, they had programs, like they were doing actual stuff. But yeah, it was very chaotic, and it wasn't like they needed to be told everything to do in order to make it funny.
Yeah, and they weren't like held back.
Right.
Yeah.
But yes, aside from the really hilarious content and Macarena, what other BLITZERS songs do you want to direct people to?
Breathe Again.
Okay.
Their debut. So good. And hello, the spin.
The spin.
Are we
yeah.
forgetting the
Always
spin?
Iconic.
I feel like some of these groups are out here pulling out all the stops, Healy props, spins, backflips. That's my little shout out to TIOT. And then like nobody even cares. And then all those big groups out there that get like literally every single ounce of clout from everyone, they're just doing regular stuff. Like literally just regular. But Breathe Again, I just really love it. And I love the general kind of vibe that Blitzers had a lot of the time of like grunge, cool, dark sort of aesthetic without it being scary. Okay, you know?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like
Vix.
Yeah, it wasn't like Vix, but it was like still very like, you know, like I don't know. Grunge is like the closest
emo,
I can get to.
Like, kind of like it was edgy.
Yeah. Like edgy, but it wasn't like clean edgy. Like it wasn't like polished, like, you know, we all have our like, you know, holsters and, you know, buckles and stuff. It wasn't that kind of edgy. Which I love too, but so just a little different, you know? Mm-hmm. And Hop In is another one I really want to mention. Hop In, completely different than what I was just saying. Completely different, but just so fun and catchy and funny. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so those were like, I mean, I love a lot of theirs, but those are the two I wanted to bring up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna bring up question mark.
Of course.
Obviously, and slide. Because, of course. And then also Gradation and Raindrop. Those are the slower ones, like on the slower side of the Blitzers discography. But I mean, come on. Gradation, how am I not going to enjoy that when, like, the choreography is the way that it was, the styling was the way that it was, and the video that they had for it, too, was really nice and atmospheric. And so it's a bit unfortunate what's been going on with Blitzers. I'll say that. Because they so, like you said, undeniable. It's just, they have it.
They do.
They were doing it.
They were. You might not know these songs we've been talking about, but for each one of these groups we've talked about so far, we have also been mentioning a range of songs from slow, more ballady, to upbeat, super dancey, like, you know, fun songs. So each one of these groups is also displaying quality work throughout a range of songs. It's not that they just have one type that they're good at.
Yes, very true. The group that I would like to talk about now is another group that is unfortunately officially disbanded at this point, and that group is Weki Meki. Another group that, if you're a Meower, if you listen to the BlushCat podcast, you will have heard us talk about Weki Meki. Coincidestiny. That was their disbandment song. That was in 2024, so it's already been 2 years approximately since their disbandment.
God, I can't believe it.
I know, and they debuted in 2017. And so they were an 8-member girl group. 2 of the members, Yoojung and Doyeon, were in IOI. So when we just talked about IOI's reunion, 2 members from Weki Meki are in that. And Yoojung is having her first comeback as a soloist. Currently, she is still doing some promo for that song. And her debut as a soloist was while Weki Meki was still active. So, I mean, I'll get that out of the way now and say I don't really understand what people's problem is because if everybody was so over the moon thrilled about IOI and their reunion, and if people now are supporting Yoojung and they're like, wow, like what a great solo that she has, it's so much fun, and all of the idols are doing her challenge, and it's like, wow, this is great, and we love Yoojung, like how amazing, how excellent. Like, yes, thank you finally, I'm glad that you have gotten to that point. But where were you when Weki Meki was active?
True, good point.
Like, and if people were saying, oh, we're waiting for IOI, we were always hoping that they would have a comeback to this scale, and like, we're so supportive of all the members, you clearly weren't supportive enough.
Fake fans.
So I'm just saying, like, yes, thank you for recognizing Yoo Jung now, and I hope that she still does, like, you know, have some recognition, because she was in our episode of favorite K-pop dancers. She's one of my favorite dancers in K-pop. I think that she's always just been so good at performing and stuff like that. And so, yeah, like, she definitely does deserve it. I'm not saying, like, take away the recognition because you didn't give any to her when she was in Weki Meki, but I'm just saying, like, you could have also given it to her when she was in Weki Meki, so that Weki Meki didn't have to disband. But anyway, Weki Meki, they were pioneers. They invented okay, Teen Crush. Has anybody ever heard of Teen Crush? You definitely have. Even if you don't think you have heard of the Teen Crush concept, you have definitely heard K-pop songs that are the Teen Crush concept. And who was leading the way for this concept? Weki Meki.
I had no idea. Like, I knew that they did that, but like, I didn't know that they were leading the way.
Yeah. They were definitely leading the way. They had just hit after hit after hit. Okay? And
like what?
So yes, exactly. I'm going to talk about that. Obviously, Crush is just very iconic. I feel like everybody knows Crush because, I mean, this is kind of like, you know, their teen crush break off point where they were like, hello, we are here, we are Weki Meki, and this is our concept. And everybody was like, you know what, yeah, like, this is good, we love this, we're gonna make our groups do the exact same thing, only they're gonna get more popular for doing it. But like, no, Crush should have got a win. And yeah, it's like, the music video is good, the choreography is good, and obviously the song is really good. Picky Picky, another one that everybody knows and claims to love.
I'm so picky.
Did it get them anything? No. But Picky Picky was bringing us some iconic looks. I need to say that. Like, the members' hair colors during Picky Picky were part of what was making the era so iconic. Like, I do have to say that. I really think it was doing a lot. Like, the right choices were being made here. And I remember watching the music show stages for Picky Picky like it was yesterday. I was like, I'm witnessing history. I really am.
Were you seeing that?
I thought I was.
You were.
It was in my book.
So you were seeing that real time?
I was, yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And Dazzle Dazzle. Why would I not bring up Dazzle Dazzle? Another song that I was really thinking I was living history, and I thought, wow, this is what's gonna do it. Like, everybody's gonna tune into Dazzle Dazzle, look at this, and like, listen, it's so much fun. And then nothing. And I'm not trying to tear Weki Meki down here. I'm really trying to do the opposite and build them up. I'm just like, you know, I gotta be a little bit salty about it because I wanted them to stay a group. But cool. Everybody enjoys cool, right? If you don't like the brighter, happier Weki Meki, this one is cool Weki Meki.
Like, every one of these songs that you've been mentioning, you say the title and I like immediately know the chorus. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, Dazzle Bear, cool. Like,
yes,
I got them all. Like,
exactly.
They're very, very iconic in that way.
Mm-hmm. And so they did bright, happy, fun. They did cool and edgy. They did elegant with Oopsie. Tiki Taka. I obviously have to talk about this one though because I think that honestly I did have to bump it because we had a limited number, seeing as we were doing a collaborative tier list for our favorite K-pop music videos. But whenever I think about it, I do always love the Tiki Taka music video.
Wow.
And Lucy's hair. Like, whenever I bring up Tiki Taka, I have to bring up Lucy's hair because it really was that iconic to me. And Siesta.
Wow, really? Like every title track is
I know.
so notable now that you're bringing them up.
And then other B-sides that may or may not have been promoted include, but are not limited to, these are just some of my top favorites: One Day, Moya Moya, Stay With Me, True Valentine, Color Me, and The Paradise. And Petal Fortune.
Can't forget it.
Can't forget it. They're all so good. And the members, their personalities were all great. The content that they made was good. They didn't make an excessive amount of content, but the content that they made was good. And really, there were no problems here. So, yeah, you should have stanned Weki Meki. You can still stream their music, though.
I saw an episode of Weki Meki.
You did?
I don't know. Was it Weki Meki? I just like
Really?
to say Weki Meki.
What
I
did
saw.
you see?
I saw the thing where they were at the water thing.
Oh, yeah, that was Weki Meki.
See? There you go.
We talked about it in our K-pop travel moments episode. One of the parts that we did of that way back when. We did talk about Weki Meki in that.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, the last group that we're talking about today is not officially disbanded. However, there have been so many changes to this group. I'm really sorry to say that they're basically disbanded in my mind. But that's KNK. And they debuted back in 2016. They currently have 3 members: Jihoon, Insung, and Hyunjung. In 2018, the member Yoojin left and the member Dongwon joined. Then in 2021, Sam left. And in 2022, Heejun left. And Heejun now acts under the name Woo Jae-yeon. So maybe you know of that person, but you're like, I didn't know that he was Heejun from KNK. Well, guess what? He is. So many things happened with this group. But I am the most familiar with the first 2 iterations, the lineup that had Yoojin and the lineup that had Dongwon. And, up until the point where Heejun left. And I just think that they had potential. They really did.
They did. Their stuff was pretty, once again, I'm going to say what I said for the other groups. It's like you had a group that was pulling out all the stops. They're like, we're going to do something so iconically different that people will have no choice but to look and see. Mm-hmm. And, people didn't, again.
Yeah. And so, it's kind of weird because I definitely think that they had potential as a K-pop group. But I'm glad to see Sam and Heejun now are being successful in the acting field, and they were doing acting stuff when they were active in the group as well. And so that's really, really good to see. And I can't be as upset about this group because I do think that the paths they ended up taking are right for them. But they were making hits. They were. And they were giving us concepts. And I love concepts. So why don't you talk about some songs that are relevant to you, and I'll fill in the blanks.
Sunset. For y'all. So Sunset. Gotta talk about Sunset.
Yes.
Because it was really a moment.
Yes.
Yeah. A moment. It just is,
Mm-hmm.
And then also, Back Again, pretty iconic. Ride, like also great, and they all have such crazy like choreography moments of like, whoa guys, they're really doing something here.
Yes, the Sunset and Ride choreography. Hello, they should have been winning awards for that. Awards.
They could have, yeah. I will be honest though, KNK has also been disbanded in my mind this entire time.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't aware that I would have ever known them in a time where they were still an active group. I thought like ever since I've ever known them, it was like a past group, like a group from history. So I'm not super familiar with a lot of their music, but those songs in particular are very known to me, like, because they're such moments.
Yes, they are such moments, and I feel like I need to take this episode as a chance to explain my backstory a little bit with KNK. But first, I'll finish mentioning some songs that I want to shout out. So yes, Sunset, obviously, absolutely iconic and game-changing. And this was part of the KNK Spring Summer Collection EP that also has the songs Fade and We Are the One. Now, this EP is absolutely top tier, iconic, rewriting history, pivotal sort of stuff. And the fact that everybody wasn't tuning in and listening to this and streaming it 24/7 nonstop constantly is really, 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 really unfortunate, because this could have changed everything. And, you know, like I said before, I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because I like what happened afterwards, but I'm like, it at the same time, it could have. But also, Knock and Back Again.
Oh, right.
Like Knock and Back Again were their first two, like, songs that I knew of them. And, like, I mean, yeah, Back Again with the iconic second gen vibes piano intro. It's never gonna get old. But like Knock, they were doing it all. They were really debuting with a purpose.
Which one is the one that goes?
That's Knock.
Okay, yeah, because that one's iconic too.
Yes,
like the circle part.
Yeah, like
so
hello,
iconic.
they were setting their own standard. They were making their own trends, and it was really, really great stuff.
They always like set the tone so distinctly for each like piece, you know?
Yes. And I would also like to shout out Angel Heart, which is the B-side that came with their debut song Knock. And then other songs that I want to mention: Sun, Moon, Star, Hello, obviously. Have we watched the music show stages of this? It was always so beautiful. And Highway, that's a good B-side, okay? It just is. You and Tonight are more upbeat, boppy sort of like club kind of vibes. Like, I don't know. It's just got a good beat. And yeah, so KNK, listen, I have like a weird mixed sort of origin story for them, because it wasn't like, oh, one specific thing made me be like, oh, KNK, but it was kind of like, this is a group that's around, and so you get to know them a little bit. And I remember, like I just was saying, Knock and Back Again, I kind of came across the songs at some point, and I was like, hey, like why not, right? So I added them to my playlist, and that was kind of just that. They were sitting there for a while. And then it wasn't really, like, I was kind of, like, late to the game. It's not like I completely, like, was a huge Tinkerbell or anything. That's the name of their fandom, which is really cool, and I like that. But I had this, like, weird sort of appreciation for KNK even when I wasn't totally in it. And they were always doing such funny stuff, like Pentagon, KNK was on Heyo TV a lot. And so I had seen some of those. They were at the Isaac. They had a lot of iconic moments from the Isaac and their KNK television episodes that they would have on YouTube. There was a lot of Isaac behind stuff. And so I was becoming more familiar with them through that. And they also were very active on VLive. And so, everybody loves VLive and we all miss VLive. And whenever there was a group, it was very easy to see who was doing a live. Like at any given time, it was like right there. And so I just remember seeing KNK having lives going on a lot of the times. And so they had a lot of fun in like the hotel sort of streams, and then obviously their 12-hour VLive was a moment.
Wow, the days of idols and groups becoming iconic and known through Isaac moments and VLive moments versus now it being shorts, TikToks. Wow, how times have changed. Yeah. That's a huge pivot, I feel like, that you can just feel.
Yeah. And so, like, all that stuff was very iconic, but the member that I was always, like, seeing the most from was Sam, who, when I first was knowing KNK, obviously he was Seungjoon then, but he changed his name, so maybe if you're, like, a K-pop, if you've been a K-pop fan for a long time, maybe at one point you have briefly heard of this group and you forgot, and so you're like, oh, I don't know who that is, but I do recognize the name Seungjoon. Well, that's the same person and you just haven't been around for a long time, I guess. But KNK, is anybody familiar with KNK?
I don't think we are.
That is the name, like they were referred to as that, KNK and Astro, since they both debuted in 2016. They like made content together. I don't want to say like a lot, but they did make appearances on like the same variety show and stuff like that frequently. So that was another big reason that I was like getting to know KNK, because I was watching it for Astro. And I was like, you know what, this KNK group is pretty good too. And I already I'm familiar with them a little bit. So that was a whole big good thing. And then the last sort of connection, I was like getting more familiar with Saham because, well, one, he was like always doing iconic stuff, but I would see his pictures. Like he loves to take pictures and he would do a lot of nature and like floral photography, and so I would see his posts randomly and I would be like, oh, it's him again. And so there was that. But we definitely mentioned it because like in the DKZ episode we had to have brought up this specific show. But the August 6th 2019 SBS The Show music show broadcast, I'm telling you, I remember this vividly, this day, because I was there for Pentagon and I was hoping that they would maybe get a win because they were promoting Humph. And I was
also really good.
It's also really good. And I was like, maybe this is their chance. But I remember I watched the whole broadcast, and so there were a lot of relevant groups performing that day. Well, groups that weren't exactly relevant in the moment, but they would become more relevant to us later in time. NCT Dream was performing that day. That's another reason I was watching it, because they were doing Boom. I was like, okay, here we go.
Oh my god, Boom was that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Get your Boom cards. Who remembers the Boom cards? But so KNK performed Sunset on this show, and this show is also the DKZ blockbuster performance.
All of those things happened at the same time.
Yes,
those were all the same time as
yes.
That's insane.
I know. It is insane. And so that's one of the reasons I remember it so vividly now, because I'm like, wait a minute. Like, the more I'm realizing this was all so connected, it's just insane. And like, obviously, KNK and DKZ, like, I didn't even know the history there. Like, and then it only became more relevant. And I'm like, hello. Like, I was like, we were around.
That's crazy.
We were there. And so I just think it's important to acknowledge the history and just like take a moment to say thank you and to recognize all of the iconicness.
That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah. So that's all that we have for you today, Meowers. But don't fret, because like I said at the beginning of this episode, I personally have so many disbanded or inactive groups that I would love to have a chance to talk about and shine a light on. Like, hello, I didn't even get to talk about Snooper. I really planned to talk about Snooper in this episode, but we don't have enough time. So if you want to hear us talk about more disbanded or inactive K-pop groups that we love, let us know in the comments. Like this episode so that we know you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the BlushCat channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our new episodes.
Yeah. Sorry if I maybe kind of got a little carried away, glossing over some things and then reiterating other things. It was this weird balance between, I know I've already talked about all this stuff 5 million times, but how do I not talk about it again? So basically, you can probably check out like 1 million of our other episodes.
Yeah.
That like if you like search the group name or something, maybe you can find like specific episodes. We've talked about them all the time because that's how much we love them and how good they are.
Yes. So at the end of the day, it's important to STAN Pentagon and check out all of these groups and stay meowing.
Thank you so much for listening.
This has been Rouehdlevestezhaya Mourkstaksuhmiere the third.
And me. Bye.
Meow 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 meow.